Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you guys had a great holiday and a great New Year celebration as well. 2025 is about to kick off in terms of the UFC schedule that we got on tap, but there were a couple things that I wanted to get off the list before we dropped our first UFC breakdown. I wanted to drop a recap video for 2024, which was the best year in terms of tracked record that I had. So I wanted to go over that real quick for you guys. Not to mention, I was planning on making a underdog video for 2024, highlighting all the stats and all that stuff about underdogs, but I was unable to really just get the information that I wanted. I do still have some tidbits that I want to drop for you guys, so stay tuned for that. I'll be dropping that for you guys in the middle of the video. And then near the ending of the video, I'll be talking about my plans for my content for 2025. I'll be switching things up just a tad, a couple of additions that I'm sure that you guys will be very happy about and very much looking forward to, especially if you like the regional shows. So I'll be adding some stuff in regards to that, and then talking about a couple other things that I might be adding to the channel. So stay tuned later for that. I'll have everything time-stamped here, so if you just want to skip the recap, I completely understand. If you're interested in the recap, keep listening. Otherwise, check the description or even the timeline bar, and you'll be able to skip it forward to either the underdog tidbits or what I got planned for the content for the 2025 schedule. So without further ado, let's get right into the recap that I got for 2024. We'll start off with the profit and ROI here on the year. So like I said, a historic year. Out of the 8 years that I have tracked, this is the best I've had in terms of units profited. So I'm plus 88.83 units profited for a 5% ROI. Very happy with that mark here. You know, I had a lot of action this year, but to be able to turn that much of a profit nearing that 100 unit mark, I'm very happy in regards to that. I was so close to the 100 unit mark, but there were a few events near the ending of the year that kind of took us away from that. So plus 88.83 units, 5% ROI. Everything can be checked on my Bet MMA profile. I should have the link for that in the description below as well if you guys want to check that out. That's for the lock of the night and dog of the night. So with the channel named MMA Lock of the Night, obviously that's kind of my go-to play for every single event that I have. For this year, slightly down from the last year. So last year we had plus 25.49 units profit for a 4% ROI. We drop ever so slightly here, where we go 89 and 42 on the year for a 68% hit rate for plus 23.07 units of profit and 3% ROI. We're in the profit, but again, not the goal that I had was 50 units, and that's the goal that I'm going to continue to keep for 2025. And then if we capture that, then I'm going to try to up the ante. But 50 units is going to be my goal for lock of the night play strictly. Now, dog of the nights was not the greatest year for me. It actually was a reverse of what we had last year. So in 2023, we had plus 9.64 units of profit with a 7% ROI. This year, atrocious. We go 50 and 90 on dog of the night plays for minus 15.86 units and a minus 11% ROI. Dogs this year were not my strong suit. And actually, when I talk about the underdog tidbits for 2024, you guys might see a little bit of a correlation in regards to why I was unable to hit on most of these dogs, as it was a favorite heavy year. Let's talk about the top 3 promotions that I had this year. So in total on the Patreon page, I cover 9 different promotions. I'm talking UFC, OKTAGON, Contender Series, LFA, Bellator, Cage Warriors, ACA, PFL, and KSW. But I'll quickly highlight the top 3 promotions of the year for me. First of which was the UFC, and this is in terms of units profited. So UFC was number 1 for me, plus 36.91 units, 7% ROI there. Lock of the night plays for the UFC went plus 25.11 units for a 12% ROI, and the dog of the night plays went minus 4.93 units for a minus 12% ROI. OKTAGON was the second best promotion for me, as I went plus 28.33 units overall for a 23% ROI. Our lock of the night plays went plus 15.86 units for a 26% ROI, and dog of the night plays very slight deficit. You can pretty much call it in the black, minus 0.3 units for a minus 2% ROI. And finally, the third best promotion that I had profit-wise was the Contender Series, where we went plus 18.54 units on the year for 33% ROI. And again, for Contender Series, I do not make Lock of the Night or Dog of the Night plays, considering there's only 5 fights per event, and it's very volatile considering the stipulations and the circumstances surrounding the whole Contender Series show and people trying to get into the UFC. Let's get to the Locky Two-Step and Locky Trinity now. That's the free parlay segment that I normally drop for you guys every Friday. Again, I drop it to the Patreon folks much earlier in the week, and that's obviously when I drop it to the YouTube viewers on Friday, the odds change. Obviously, there's going to be action on some of these spots. Most of the time, the odds are worse on Friday when they see it on the YouTube page. So I do track the ones that I drop on the Patreon page. So let's quickly talk about last year where we were in a deficit. I started off with strictly the Locky Trinity, where we went 9-32 for minus 16.9 units and a minus 41% ROI. Then I jumped onto the Locky Two-Step late in 2023 for 13-13, minus 0.47 units and minus 2% ROI. But we absolutely blew it out of the water this year. I'm very happy with the performance that we had in 2024. So for the Locky Two-Step, we go 27-15 for plus 13.96 units, 33% ROI. And the Locky Trinity, we go 17-25 for plus 15.77 units and a 37% ROI. And again, this is all 1 unit risk. Usually the Locky Two-Step is around that plus 150-ish mark, and then the Locky Trinity is usually around plus 200-300, depending on how risky I want to get with it. So again, I know a lot of you guys enjoyed the Locky Two-Step and Locky Trinity free parlay. Everybody loves parlays. So obviously that video drops every Friday of UFC Fight Weeks. But if you want to get it nice and early, I drop it on the Patreon page on Mondays or Tuesdays of Fight Week, where guys are able to usually lock in a better price. The 3 best prop bets and long shot, not the greatest look for your boy this year in regards to that. So we'll start off with the 3 best prop bets. Not great. We go 32-93 for minus 33.86 units, minus 27% ROI. I could not pick a prop for my life this year. Very underwhelming performance. So we did hit on a few prop shots, which allowed us to profit on that aspect. We go 6-39 on long shots. Again, this is only 1 long shot per card, and then 3 best prop bets, only 3 props per card. So again, prop long shot 6-39 plus 19.25 units and a 43% ROI. I don't believe I tracked it last year. Actually, I did track it last year. The 3 best prop bets, we went 44-71 minus 10.32 units and a minus 9% ROI in 2023. So we take a little bit of a step back in 2024 in terms of the 3 best prop bets, but I'll be making a little bit of a change to that segment, which I'll talk about later on in this video. Now, the Locky Review, that is a newspaper style post that I make on Instagram every Thursday of UFC Fight Week. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you've been missing out on some of these Locky Review plays that I drop for you guys. So again, at MMA LOT on Instagram, make sure you guys follow that to get the best of that. So let's quickly talk about the plays that I drop over there. So our preferred prelim pick pretty much end in the black there. We go 21-19 for minus 0.27 units and a minus 1% ROI. Our over under Thunder, not too bad, 23-19 on the year for plus 3.72 units and a 9% ROI. For the IG free pick, so that's I dropped this free pick on my prediction sheet that I drop every UFC fight day. So if you go to the Instagram page as well, you can see it there. I have my prediction sheet. I give you guys each prediction that I have for the card, but I also drop a free official track play. And in terms of the free plays that I drop for you guys, not too shabby. 24-17 on the year for plus 7.54 units and an 18% ROI. And the last thing I was tracking this year for myself was my performance on GodzillaWins.com. Now, this is a platform that I usually plug before I drop my predictions on my MMA Lawcast episode. This is a website that allows your boy to provide 2 articles a week for the UFC for you guys for free. So GodzillaWins.com. I do a main event breakdown where this year I went 23-18 on the year for plus 4.73 units and an 11% ROI. And then we do a 3 best money line spots. So I do 1 unit on each of these spots, 3 plays per card. We go 66 and 58 on the year, plus 0.67 units, 1% ROI. So we end in the black there. No profit, no loss. Again, main events, we end up profiting there. All right. That's pretty much a recap on the 2024 recap. I'll quickly drop some of these underdog tidbits that I was able to put together for 2024. Again, wanted to drop a video for it. No point in it right now with the first UFC breakdown coming for you guys on Monday. So let's quickly talk about it here. So in 2023, underdogs ended up going 153 and 329 for a 32% hit rate. This is strictly UFC cards. Now they've actually dropped about 4%. So in 2024, they went 140 and 356. So a 28% hit rate on underdogs. So favorites and chalky favorites are really starting to come through now. And guys that are, underdog hunters or like to snipe those dogs, not hitting as well as they normally do. And that's why you might see a lot of cappers now kind of taking an L this year or not performing as good as they normally do, because it seems like the betting markets have kind of smartened up a little bit, and the favorites are actually deserving of being the favorites, and they end up coming through here. So again, I was very hesitant in terms of the amount of underdogs I ended up taking this year, which is why I ended up close to 100 units in profit this year. But even again, when you look at the underdog shots I did take, not the greatest look for your boy there. But again, overall record on the year for UFC underdogs in 2024, 140 wins, 356 losses for a 28% hit rate. The other tidbit that I had here actually was the method of victory for underdogs here. So there were 78 wins by decision, which accumulated for 56% of the underdog wins on the year. To break that down even further, 49 of those decision wins were by unanimous, and 29 of them were by split decisions. There were 40 underdog knockouts, which makes up 28% of the underdog wins, and 21 submission victories, which makes up 15% of the wins. And then we had one disqualification, I believe that was Cody Brundage and Abdul Razak Al Hassan from earlier this year. I'm sure a lot of people remember that one. I believe that's what it was. And then the last one that I have here for you guys, obviously you can see it on the graphic, by month. This is how the underdogs performed. So the best month for underdogs was January 2024, where they go 9 and 21 for a 43% hit rate. And that was all the underdogs tidbits I was able to get for you guys. So hopefully you guys were able to enjoy some of those tidbits there. All right. In terms of the content that I got coming for 2025, I wanted to change up a couple of things. You know, I've stayed very consistent in terms of the content that I kind of promised to drop for you guys in 2024. It was very busy every single week, dropping all these different videos for you guys. Obviously, dropping all the content that I normally drop on the Patreon page as well. But we're going to shift it up a little bit this year. First and foremost, I want to introduce the Legacy Warriors podcast. If you guys are diehard MMA fans or know about the regional scene, I'd say two of the best regional promotions in terms of feeder leagues to the UFC is the LFA, Legacy Fighting Alliance, and Cage Warriors, hence the Legacy Warriors podcast. I will be dropping a full card breakdown for all of the Legacy Fighting Alliance and Cage Warriors cards in 2025. I'll be dropping them after weigh-ins for every single card. So it will be the day before the LFA card or Cage Warriors card. So you guys can come to this channel and know that you guys have some predictions and possible plays that you guys can input for those LFA and Cage Warriors cards. So Legacy Warriors podcast, very much looking forward to starting that podcast up. I believe the first one will actually be next week, kicking off with LFA 199. So stay tuned for, I believe, Thursday, when I'll be able to drop that podcast for you guys. Secondly, the prop show. So I normally dropped a top 3 prop bets and long shot, or the best 3 prop bets segment on Thursdays. I believe that's Thursdays of Fight Week. I'm going to be changing that up slightly. Obviously, we got absolutely butchered on the 3 best prop bets this year, but something that I missed doing with my old prop shows was talking about each each fight and which props I like from those fights. So I'm going to make it a lot more brief than I used to do in the past. Like obviously a little bit longer than the past top 3 prop bets segment that I dropped for you guys. This one is going to be more so highlighting each fight and picking out the best props I like from each fight. You know, some long shots in some of these spots, some props that a lot of people may not be talking about or overlooking. And then I'll end that segment with my favorite 3 props as well as a long shot. But at least this way it gives you guys an idea of other props that I'll be thinking about, some that you may have overlooked as well. So that will be a little bit more of an extended prop show. That will be called the prop drop, and that'll be dropping Thursdays of fight week. I'll be removing the dog of the night segment of the year. Dog of the night segment, which was my top 3 dog of the night plays, where I would give, my top 3 dog of the night candidates, and then only one of those would be my dog of the night play. The top 3 lock of the night candidates video will still remain as it is, dropping every Tuesday, but I'm going to be dropping the dog of the night segment, and I'm going to be introducing a new one called Chalk or Not. Now, I believe I'm one of the better guys in the game in terms of picking or avoiding big favorites, so this will be kind of your guide in terms of the landmines that you want to avoid. Chalk or Not is going to be going over the chalky spots on the card and whether you should be considering it as a potential parlay piece or not, if you should just forget about it. So look forward to the Chalk or Not segment to replace the top 3 dog of the night plays. Another thing that I am considering, I am not 100% over the line as of yet, but I am highly considering bringing back the Fight Day live chat. Now, if you guys remember, I used to do a 1 p.m. Eastern every fight day, 1 hour, answering all the questions that you guys had in regards to the fight that we had on that day or the fights that we had on that day. And I very much miss mingling with you guys in the chat section and having live content. And that's kind of the only one that I very much enjoyed because the other live ones that I used to do, I used to talk about the whole card again, and I didn't really like doing that. The Fight Day live chat was more so fueled by you guys. That was a segment that I would, or a show that I would do where I would answer any and all questions that you guys would have, whether it was from weigh-ins from the day before or anything that may have happened on Fight Day, or any concerns or questions that you guys have in regards to the event that's taking place that day. So Fight Day live chat is a maybe. Let me know in the comment section below if that's something that you guys would enjoy having back on the channel here. Also, another thing that I used to do was the post-event recap. That just became a little bit too tedious. That didn't allow me to really enjoy the fights the way that I wanted to. And there are some times where I'm not able to watch the fights live, and then just having to put all that information together for you guys the next day, did not really enjoy that. So I'm going to be dropping the post-event reaction, whatever it was, or a media reaction video that I used to do. And then lastly, Global Fight League will be coming to fruition in January. I believe their draft is at the end of January, and they'll start having events, I believe, in April. I could be wrong in regards to that, but they are looking to take the number 2 spot in the MMA world. They're trying to take that PFL Bellator spot. Thus, I will start covering GFL. They're going to have some high-level names, notable free agents joining them. I will be dropping breakdowns for their events. Every single event that they have, I'll have a MMA Lawcast episode dedicated to that. So don't worry, I will have you guys cover for GFL. Because of that, I will be removing my coverage of the ACA, the Russian organization, which I did quick picks for on the MMA Lock of the Night Patreon page. I won't be covering them anymore. They have way too many fights on each card. I believe like 20 plus fights per card, but not to mention, not a lot of people have access to betting ACA in the first place. So why waste my time when there isn't real value being taken from ACA anyway, and all the time that I normally put into it. So I will be dropping ACA, but I'll still be breaking down a bunch of different promotions. So just a quick reminder for the Lock of the Night Patreon page, I have 2 tiers that you're able to sign up to. There's the regular supporter tier where you'll be able to have access to all the content that I do for the UFC, PFL, Bellator, GFL, and the Dana White Contender Series. And then there is a regional MMA tier where you have everything included from what I just said, as well as Road to UFC, PFL Europe, PFL MENA, PFL Africa, LFA, Cage Warriors, KSW, and OKTAGON. Gonna be a busy 2025 for your boy, but the goal here is to build a YouTube channel as best as possible. And I think by introducing the new segments that I just spoke about, as well as the Legacy Warriors podcast, which I might start doing interviews with it, depending on how the success of that show goes, strictly with the breakdowns. But I would love to talk to some of these competitors on those cards. We'll see how that podcast evolves as it is, but that will strictly be on the MMA LOT on YouTube page. So yeah, very much looking forward to 2025 schedule. Any comments, suggestions, criticism, anything, drop it in the comment section below. I've already gotten pretty much the entire the first UFC card done and broken down on the Patreon page. So if you want to check that out, check the link in the description below for that. Otherwise, Monday, I'll be dropping the MMA Lockcast for that card. And then obviously the Legacy Warriors podcast will be debuting on Thursday to cover LFA 199. Once again, Happy New Year, folks. Appreciate all the love and support, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.